Welcome back to Chime Your River. I'm your host, Shane Lamba, if you're nasty. Today I'm really excited because we have a guest, our first guest. If you were waiting for a guest to show up on my show, then today's episode is essentially for you, because this is for you podcast by Shane Lamba, not Chime Your River. But anyway, it is Chime Your River. We're back today with another episode, again with a wonderful, amazing, spectacular guest, and that guest is my best friend, Toni. We are going to ask Toni a bunch of different questions that are probably intrusive, probably crazy, and probably what you all have been waiting for. Now, like always, Chime Your River is all about identities, experiences, dating, life shit, drama, family drama, and the expectations of being gay, being LGBTQ, being bisexual. And you all have really heard a lot from me for the past, I would say 10 or 12 episodes, which is also crazy because that's a lot of episodes. But today we're going to actually dive into the real podcast format, the realness of a podcast where we get to actually learn from other people, and that being my best friend. So I am here with Toni, my best friend, but also the guest of today's podcast. So Toni is the premier connoisseur, extra diva, extra sassy, extra cunty person that I know, that I think you all are also going to get to know by the end of this episode. But yes, I'm here with Toni, and welcome.
Hi! I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. I love this. I love your outfit.
Thank you. I had to just rep the culture.
Yes, absolutely, as one should. So, Toni, tell me a little bit about yourself, about your culture.
So I grew up in like a traditional like Hispanic Catholic household, first generation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the oldest of four.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like basically when you're first gen, like everything's like a test, like a little test run.
Okay.
You know, like you're trying to figure out the world with like your parents. We also are trying to figure out like what is America and like what it is about over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then
ghetto.
Yeah. Don't even girl, ghetto is not even the word.
That's the most basal definition of America.
We're being nice if we're calling it ghetto right now.
Yeah. We're doing black people a disservice because that's like, a word that we're not supposed to use. But,
yeah, we're gonna be as PC as
well.
Possible.
I mean, we're not because we're stupid. If you couldn't already tell by our RuPology cackle,
literally. I can hear the cackle from down the street.
You can. You can also hear a lot of squeaking too, but that's for another episode.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, honestly, being first generation is so crazy because you're learning the world with your parents as they're also learning like a new language, a new culture.
Okay.
And, you're basically just trying to like assimilate for like the purpose of like survival and stuff like that.
Okay.
But also like, not even just trying to survive, but you're also just trying to be like a kid too on top of that, like you're trying to like be curious and like learn the world and like have good faith in people and like, and when you're a kid, you assume like everyone is like nice, kind-hearted, innocent, people have good intentions and stuff. But no, but as I got older, I was like, oh shit, people are fucking assholes.
Yeah, people really are. People are really crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just gonna see your microphone. Yeah, it's on. Okay, sorry. We're testing it out.
Yeah,
we're doing trial and error.
We're gonna play it by ear. That's what life's about.
Exactly. Look, even the wind's coming through to say hello. Shalom.
Oh my god, no, but so I'm the oldest of four.
Okay.
Right, and so basically, when you're the oldest of four, like you kind of play like a parental role, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of like watch your siblings when the parent is working or when both parents are working and stuff.
Okay.
But, besides me being the oldest, like, I'm also, like, my parents' like first like gay child.
Okay, right.
And so
their only gay child, right?
Only gay child, I'm their only gay child, and then I have like a.
So your siblings, can you tell us a little bit You have a brother, sister?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I know, but you can tell
I
them.
have one brother and I have two sisters. All of us are like a year apart. So my parents were hella busy within 4 years.
Well, gotta sip to that.
Well, my mother had told me she thought she was going to be a nun. So Miss Margarita.
Not Mrs. Margarita. You cannot be a nun when your name is the most popular drink.
Literally. And
in Southern California.
Okay, and that's what I be drinking.
Not Mrs. Margarita. She is so kind, guys. I've met Mrs. Margarita only one time in person. And your dad. But I've met her a multitude of times through FaceTime and on the phone while we were talking. So
yeah,
Mrs. Margarita is very sweet. She's very caring.
Yeah.
I can see that you get that caring, that kindness, the caringness, the over, like, I wouldn't say over caring, but you're very familial, you know, like you care a lot. And that's what mothers are. You know, mothers are the OG caretaker, right?
Yeah, and then I feel like even just like not even like Latino families, but brown families in general, we're always very concerned about the collective, and like we're always like looking out for each other, even if it's not like our immediate family. Like we're always looking out for people that like are in the outside, you know, making sure that they're taken care of, and that, you know, if they need something, you know, we're gonna get them what they need regardless of what that is.
Right.
You know, so I feel like brown families connected themselves in the home and then outside of the home with other people to make sure that like we're taken care of, you know. Like my mom was always that type of person, like, you know, she'd be like, if your friends come over and we have food, feed them.
Right.
Like, you know, it doesn't matter, feed them, offer them water. You know, like my mom was really
white people can never. They would never even offer you water.
No,
they would rather offer the children in Africa water than the bitch sitting right across from them. I'm telling you, I have a real life story about this, but I'll hold.
Right. No, like every time my family made food and my friends came over, my friends were always so excited. They'd be like, oh, you know, like my mom doesn't like cook because she's like working like a lot of jobs, or like, you know, my parents are just really out and about busy, you know. And so then like it would always make me really happy to like bring my friends after school and like, you know, get to have a meal with them and connect about like how our day went and stuff. And a lot of my friends were either like first gen or second generation growing up, so I definitely had a lot of community growing up, for sure.
That's cool.
You know, I know like you and I, like, you know, off the record, we've talked about like representation and stuff like that. I definitely did grow up with a lot of representation. You know, in terms of
what sense?
Like, you know, with like seeing like other like gay Latino people, you know, and then even seeing them in the media a little bit, maybe not as much. I mean, it always pissed me off seeing like microaggressions in the media, you know, always painting like the gay Latino boy to be like super spicy, he's like a hairdresser, or he's like an office assistant or something, you know. And it's just like, we're much more than that, you know. And like and the thing is, I feel like to this day, like a lot of, you know, people, a lot of Latinos, gay Latinos, queer Latinos, we get boxed just to be one thing when we're so like multi-dimensional. There's more layers for sure to us than just what they see on the media and what they see on Instagram.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said in my first episode, there are layers, like a fucking onion. You know, you peel it back, girl. You peel that shit back.
Peel it back, girl. Peel it back, girl.
When you say, and I'm just curious, you know, you're saying that you saw a lot of gay Latino representation in the media. So can you tell me a little bit, you know, about like what, you don't tell me, but tell others listening what it was kind of like growing up gay and Latino?
You know, so when I was younger, people knew a part of me that I didn't even know of, or that I wasn't even aware of. Like everyone around me knew that a part of me was like queer, gay, effeminate. Even before I did. When I was growing up, like I just thought I was being myself. Like I didn't know there was this like mysterious part of me. Like people clocked my tea before I even clocked my own tea. Essentially, you know.
It's usually like that.
And like I was just living my life. I didn't give a fuck if I was like, you know, gay or queer, or even I knew I was effeminate, but it didn't bother me. I just thought like this is just me being me, you know.
I love that. Yeah.
And so I feel like growing up, everyone kind of knew my tea before I knew it, and so growing up, like people in grade school, like elementary school, they were like so mean to me because like I was just very effeminate. Like I was very effeminate, and then the other boys in my grade, they were more like they're being traditionally raised as just like trying to be like masculine boys.
Okay.
And then when I was raised, my mother had always told me to be kind and to be like empathetic, you know, to be a little bit more like sensitive towards people and to treat and handle people with care. And I think a lot of times when we hear the words like empathy or like caring about somebody else,
right,
like they associate those words with like feminine qualities, or like those are like qualities
being
that
a woman,
being a woman
or
possesses,
girly, right? Like
or
when you're a kid, it's
girly.
like girly, like
Yeah,
you're girly because you care about people, and
yeah.
boys aren't supposed to care about people. Boys are supposed to be
Mm-mm.
tough men.
Right, and then especially with Latino culture, we have the machismo. We have, you know, we have to be strong. We have to provide. We have to, you know, show a brave face when we're dealing with adversity, not shedding a tear. You know, but I was raised the complete opposite. Like I was always very expressive of like how I felt. I was always very communicative in terms of like what I wanted and what I needed and what I felt. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you think that comes from? Do you feel that came from, like from? So I'm thinking, yeah, from like your mom or from your dad or from both. Like, how did that play a role? Like, I'm thinking about like the familial expectations of like, what did your dad expect, and then what did your mom expect?
Right. Both of my parents come from like decent. Well, not my mom comes from a big family. She had 13 siblings. They lived in one house, and you know, it was like a co-ed house. The girls shared part of the house. The men were in the other part of the house. You know, so all the men slept in one room. All the women slept in one room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like it's funny because when me and my siblings, so growing up, like you know, my parents weren't like the most like wealthiest. We grew basically our living situation was always a 2-bedroom apartment.
Okay.
Parents in one room, and then the 4 of us in another room. You know, and it was like that for a while. And then you know, luckily things changed, and then now like you know, my sisters have partners. They have their own spaces,
right?
You know, and then I live with my parents, and then my brother lives with us. You know, and so yeah, so like every time like my siblings and I would fight and we were living in this like 2-bedroom apartment,
right,
my mom would always be like, I don't know why you guys are like this. You guys are gonna have to be like this for a long time. Like you guys should just get adjusted and get used to it. You know, I had to live with my 13 brothers and sisters, and we had to find ways to get over our differences and get along,
right,
and stuff. But sometimes, you know, you have to like I mentioned, you know, the collective. You have to leave the collective to be like a better person sometimes, and do some self-discovery and some self-work, because sometimes the collective you're in is so biased to how you are as a person that they don't even see your own faults or your shortcomings, you know. But but for me it was very different. Like I was always you know, very aware that like if I don't leave the collective at some point, like I'm not going to progress and grow as a person and see like my faults and my shortcomings and the lessons that I have to learn as a person.
Yeah, that's really important to hear. And also like I would even say like even in like the Indian culture, it's very similar in the sense that you know, I think brown cultures in general, but like you know, pinpointing on both of ours, like Indian and Latino, it's very collective mindset, very communal, right? Like community is so important. Like I remember when I went to India this past year, I even saw, and I've been to India now 3 times, but like in the past year I saw how just like loving and caring people are for each other. So very similar, like, you know, you had mentioned that like people knew that I was gay before even I knew what the fuck that even meant, right? And for me it was kind of like the same concept. I mean, I know that for me I didn't come out as bisexual until I was 19, but like you mentioned, being effeminate, being just yourself, having characteristics that, you know, were not the stereotypical GI Joe man, like that's just like what I felt was real, you know. And like again, like my parents never said anything negative. They never shunned me for doing things. I mean, they loved when I would do little dance performances to the Bollywood music and all this, and I loved Bollywood movies, and I still do. And I think that's what's really interesting, is that what I'm always curious about is like how that plays a role in our upbringings and how we see ourselves, you know, like, and then what expectations we have from our parents, you know? Because like I spoke a little bit about this last episode, is like I felt like being bisexual was like a letdown on myself, and a letdown as an Asian person, because we have such high expectations that
Right.
we want to, satisfy our parents, right?
Right.
Like we want to make them so proud. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you think like being proud, why is our sexuality linked to having our parents be proud of us?
Right. Like,
what do you think? Where do you think that comes from? And is that current in Latino culture too?
I feel like it's more of like I feel like maybe it's like a cultural pressure of some sort. When I was being me, and then I found my tea out when I was like maybe like 4th, 5th grade. Like I kind of started thinking, and like because I started going through puberty at the time.
Right.
I started puberty like super young.
Okay.
I had like a high pitched voice, but I had a ton of facial hair, a ton of cystic acne.
Okay.
But I had a high pitched voice, and a lot of my friends at the time were all girls.
Okay.
I only connected with girls. I never connected with them in like a romantic way or anything like that. It was mainly more so like, oh, these are my people, these are my girls, this is my community,
right?
This is who I feel the most safe around, because boys in grade school, they're just rough all around,
right? Of course,
they're just rough all around. And so I think more so it comes from like a cultural and like religious pressure for sure, because I was raised Catholic. I did my baptism, I did my communion, I did my confirmation. I went to like Saturday school.
Oh wow.
Like every Saturday I went to it in Spanish. Okay. So like the class and the courses were taught in Spanish, and then of course like they would give us these little stamp cards these little stamp cards so they would know we went to church on Sunday too.
Oh, so what did you get if you turned the stamp card in?
It was like
a biscuit?
I don't know, girl. They gave us hot Cheetos, okay? They gave us hot Cheetos and some
cream cheese.
Cream cheese.
Tapatio. Limon.
They gave us the chicharrones, limon, tapatio.
We love a good chicharron.
Yeah, all that stuff we had to pay for it, and it went straight. It went straight to the church, girl.
That shit should be free.
It should be. It should be, because that's
feed the children.
It's the most godly thing you can do is feed a child.
Yes,
literally.
Yes,
it doesn't cost you a damn thing, really.
Right? No, you should feed the children. You should nourish the children. You should give them access to health care. You should not take away people's rights as trans people. You should mind your own fucking business and look in the fucking mirror before you start judging other people, because half the time you have the problem, bitch. Sorry, I had to go off.
No, but people don't understand that your judgment is an act of violence.
Yes,
it's an act of violence, and violence of any sorts is not okay, and we need to protect the children.
Yes, protect the children.
Yeah,
but we need to protect the girls, protect the dolls, protect the children. We, especially right now, we need to protect the Latino and Hispanic children, the immigrant children who are coming to this country for a better life.
Yeah,
and just I don't have the right words to ever describe it. Even like when I talk to my parents about it, like my mom was a teacher, any mother who has a heart, regardless of them being a teacher or anything, would see what's happening in our country right now and be ashamed. And anyone's mother and any person who thinks that that's okay, fuck off. Sorry.
I just had
You should fucking kill yourself. You should fucking kill yourself.
That's dumb.
That's dumb. No, like it really. Damn. No, and I don't want to we can talk about that.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah. So tell me, just talk your shit. Look in the camera and talk your shit,
girl. Okay, you know what, girl?
Put the cup down.
I'm gonna put the damn mug down, because I'm about to start mugging everybody on this fucking camera right the fuck now. Okay, no, these deportations are
go off.
It's the work of the motherfucking Antichrist. Okay, it literally is. This is not okay. Girl.
Tell me, yeah.
I spoke to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, should I? It was a ridiculous question, because I knew the answer to this ridiculous question.
Yeah.
Because people in our government and law officials can start, and even ICE agents can start profiling you for being Hispanic and just like, all right, we're gonna take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was telling my mom, I'm like, should I like start to like look like less Latino, less queer? Like, what should I do? My mom was like, no. She's like, you grow out that mustache, you grow out that little goatee, and you go ahead and look your most gayest and your most Latino, like, you know, if Latino is even a word, but you know, she just told me, go be yourself still. Yeah. Go be yourself.
Well, that's the most important part, is that we should be ourselves. We can't let them win. We can't let them win. We can't let them scare us either, right? We have so much power as human beings that those little total farts in DC do not have shit. No, like, we actually have the power to change things, and we need to do something. And it's really, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, that subject is like,
it's so intense.
It's so intense. It's so complicated. I mean, it's complicated for the dumbest reasons,
yeah,
right?
But of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that it's.
You guys, we're going to be going off tangents.
We are.
Because the beauty about Shane and I is that we have so much ass and so much depth. Okay?
Yeah, bitches can never. No, like, what I've been talking, like, literally, if you've been watching this series of Chisme River, you know my biggest thing is nobody wants to critically think. Nobody critically thinks. Nobody wants to learn. Nobody wants to seek education. And I'm not talking about, like, formal education. That's a whole other topic, which I'm still going to propose people go do that. Nobody wants to learn things that are going to make them uncomfortable. No one wants to acknowledge their own mishaps and their own mistakes and learn from them. And nobody wants to do better. They just think that everything is going to be handed to them, whatever destiny, whatever karma, whatever shenanigans they believe in. And it's like, no, bitch, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
Put the work in, and then the answers come to you.
That part, the answers are within yourself.
Yeah, but see, for us, because we're hot, the shit can come to us for free. But, like, for you, ugly, decrepit bitch across the street, for you gotta work, bitch. No, and you gotta work hard. Look at RuPaul. She worked hard. Now she's fracking oil too.
Right, from corridor to corridor, she's fracking oil.
She's doing it all. If you can do it all.
I mean, you know, so Nick did say it. She like, would you rather have a white man fracking? No.
Honestly, I would rather have a black queer drag queen frack.
I mean,
I don't know what. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even really know what the fuck fracking means. Isn't it like pulling oil?
It's like pulling oil from the ground.
Okay.
I mean, ethically, it's bad for the environment.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's not good for the environment either. It's just, ethically, it's the wrong way to make money because you're compromising the integrity of the planet.
Right, okay, yes. That I can understand.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, you win some, you lose some.
I mean, someone's got to go home first.
Someone's got to go. Okay, wait. So speaking about RuPaul, because we're going to talk about Drag Race because we are faggots. If you had to describe, so I'm going to ask you two questions.
Okay.
The first question is, if you had to describe yourself, how would you describe yourself in 3 words? Or actually, 3 words. And look at the camera and describe it.
Okay, so before I start the description, I want to just disclose that I'm a Cancer. So these words might fit into that. But I am woke, I am sleepy, and I am cunty.
Okay. I love that. Yeah. Now, building on those terms and building on that definition, if you had to describe yourself with a RuPaul Drag Race season, what season would you connect yourself to? Like, which season best describes Toni?
Oh my God.
That's a good question. I told you I was not going to tell you this.
I'm gagged because the amount of seasons.
And like, it could be All Stars. It could be Global. Global All Stars only had one. It could be Slasion Royale. It could be, but like, think about it.
Oh, okay. Damn, because I can name multiple seasons that I feel like fit.
Oh, well, what are they? Tell me.
Season 6.
Okay.
With like Bianca Del Rio, Adore Delano, and Courtney Act.
Okay.
I would even say like maybe maybe like season 4.
Okay.
Season 4.
I love that. Fifi O'Hara.
Yeah. See, honestly, because
wait, Fifi was not 4, right?
No, Fifi was 4.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Only because no, I think Fifi was.
No, Fifi was 3. No. Sorry, Fifi was 5.
5, yes. Maybe not season 4. Maybe season 5.
No. Fifi was Sharon Needles.
That was season 4 then.
That was season 4. Yeah. That was season 4. Sorry.
That was season 4. Season 4 because I feel like Drag Race at the time was like developing so much as a show.
Okay.
And I feel like queer people are constantly developing.
Oh, okay.
And at that time,
look at her.
Drag Race was like part of the earlier seasons of Drag Race was so not politically correct. Like it was like, with the transphobia and all that. And even with just like the trans jokes and stuff, like, like RuPaul could have done better for sure, you know. But at the time, like, certain like jokes were deemed funny at that time, right? But wouldn't be funny now,
right? Like She-Mail.
Yeah, I did love She-Mail. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I mean that is kind of funny, in the sense that like, like she really said it like She-Mail, like like male MAIL, not male like a mailman.
Yeah,
MALE.
Right, right. I mean,
but I can understand how derogatory that could sound to somebody watching the show.
Right, and it's funny because I think people viewed that as derogatory, but it's someone within our own community making the joke. So it would probably not be seen as offensive to some people, but also like trans people have always been the most vulnerable, the most attacked in our community. So even those kinds of jokes, they don't sit well.
Sure. Okay. So we got season 6. Season 4.
I picked season 6 only because I feel like at that time it was like prime TV.
Okay.
Prime TV, and that's when like
Gia Gunn.
I mean, stun. I didn't quite cough like a man. That was All Stars, but
still Gia Gunn.
Season 6,
the original fish.
Yeah, the original mujer.
Fish.
Yeah,
that was a woman, mama. That was fucking seasoned.
No, that grilled tilapia.
Yes. Rubio's Coastal Grill, girl.
No,
the tilapia that you get on that fucking on that taco. I will say Rubio's, if you're listening, sponsor me. But also Rubio's does do it good with some things.
I'm gonna one up you on that. Cancun juice.
Okay.
Their fish tacos and their fish burritos. And don't go to the one on Bristol. Don't go to the one on Harbor. Go to the one in Tustin on 17th and the 55.
You hear that? 17th and 55. You can get your pussy turned out too. 17th and 55. If you just go to Cancun Juice, you will see a big, burly Latino man. It won't be Toni. It'll be someone else. He will be making the juice for you. He might even it a little bit,
right? And
then he'll give you a burrito, his burrito. So 17th and 55, Cancun Juice.
You should sponsor this podcast, by the way.
Yeah, you should. You know what? I am, as you would say, Latino by penetration.
You literally are Latino by penetration.
So, if anyone wants to sponsor me, I would say I would be wholesomely happy, if a Latino person sponsored me.
It doesn't get as coastal as Shane, okay, guys?
No, El Shane is going to be a thing, first of all. And you know what? The Indian people, they're never going to sponsor me.
No.
I don't want to say it like that, but they never are.
Not me agreeing with you too.
No. Oh, wait, nodding your head. No. Oh my god,
bitch. I hate you.
Okay, wait. So now tell me, what season would it be then? You gave me your 3.
I said season 2, 4,
4 and 6.
I would say 6.
Okay.
I would say 6 because that's when that was the most prime moment of Drag Race, and then Drag Race just started running.
Okay.
And that's how I feel like the development of queer people have been. We just, something happened and we just started running. Running to get our rights, running to have more representation, running to, be here.
Right. Yeah. Running to the 9-inch cock. Running.
Even if it's DL.
No.
Get your coffee. I have my.
I got my deli cup, girl. It's always okay, but can we talk about how the DL why are the DL men always packing?
I don't know. I feel like DL men are like low-key a blessing and a curse.
Right. Yeah.
Because they really are a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, they're the worst type of gay person. Because they are gay.
Right.
Like, they are figuring it out, which essentially DL, right? Like,
right.
Well, sort of, kind of. Sorry, I guess not really. Well, the term, like you said, queer people have evolved over time, right?
Right.
I think the same is true for the terms, right? Like
back
in the 70s and the 80s, DL was down low, right?
Right.
Meaning like it was basically a heterosexual man having sex with men on the side, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, I feel like we flip-flop and we intermingle these words.
Right.
Basically, DL meaning discreet, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody who's still figuring it out, like,
Right.
Like they're doing stuff with you on the down low because they're still figuring themselves out,
Yeah.
But really, they're gay.
No, they are really gay.
Yeah. I just don't really understand like the human sexuality enough to understand, like, to pinpoint and be like, I'm straight, but I'm still gonna have sex with men. Like, I don't think I would consider myself straight.
No, I agree with you.
Right?
Yeah. I have spoken to some DL men in the past, and they've mentioned that like, oh, I only do certain sexual activities with guys because like my girl doesn't want to do it.
Okay.
And in my brain, I'm like, well, if you're into women, why don't you just find another woman to do things that your current woman won't do?
And what do they want to do?
Like eat ass and like stuff like that. Like more so like things that I guess the girls aren't into.
That's like an aperitif for gay people.
Yeah.
That's like the first thing. If you don't eat ass, you're not gay. No, you're not.
I mean, y'all be opening public doors in public bathrooms and stuff.
Yeah, you be eating people's ass in the pub. If somebody ate my ass in the public bathroom, first of all, that would never happen.
They don't love you.
No, they don't. You don't even love yourself, girl. Mm-hmm. You know what happens when you flush a toilet? Feces everywhere. It flies. I don't know if people have seen that YouTube video of the scientist. First of all, go science. But the scientist like doing the experiment about like why you shouldn't put your toothbrushes like next to a toilet. I still do it anyway because I'm a nasty bitch. But like,
it's the space you got.
It's all the space you.
Oh, who that?
Did you? If Iggy Azalea just walked in my door right now,
the tomfoolery,
I would just let it all out.
Right on the table. We have to.
Knock on wood.
At least you got a big piece of wood in your living room.
Two pieces of big
wood. Ooh. Girl.
Ciao.
I'm gonna take this off because it's getting.
Okay, yeah, please. Yeah. Why don't we take a break? Let's take a break. I think you want to see us take a break.
Yeah, you do.
So we knocked on some wood and we're back because that's life. So I know we've talked a little bit about what it was growing up, your family, kind of those expectations, and we kind of went here and there in different areas. But I'm curious, what advice would you give to younger LGBTQ, queer, Latino men navigating the spaces that weren't built for them?
I would say don't be scared to like look for different communities.
Okay.
And like be open to the space in those communities.
Okay.
I feel like just even being Latino in general, we're so used to trying to do a lot of this like performative like masculinity. We try to portray ourselves as like more masculine, and I feel like how I was explaining to you earlier, like machismo was a big part of the culture, right? And so I feel like sometimes that is like ingrained in our brains to like kind of act on that or be that, and so I often see a lot of like, I guess, Latinos like being like scared or like either ashamed to act on like being more like feminine. And so I think that like yeah, like I did for my advice would be just, you know, kind of like branch out, explore other communities, and like don't be afraid to start your own tribe and to start your own communities too. Besides from the ones we come from, right? When I was growing up, like like when I first came out of the closet to my mom and stuff,
Sure.
I was pretty much like kind of worried that she would like kick me out, which of course I already knew my mom wasn't going to kick me out, but I was mentally prepared,
right,
and stuff. And so I remember my plan was to, you know, if I got kicked out of the house, I'd go to like my school principal being like, hey, like I'm homeless, please help me.
okay,
that was my initial plan. And then my initial plan was to be like, okay, like I'm gonna like make friends and I'm gonna like network and meet people who are like me to like make sure that I survive, but also make sure that I like succeed, right? Because I was gonna be I was in my brain, I was like, I'm gonna be in school still, I'm gonna do everything I can and just like grind, but also meet people that can support me and help me with that grind if I wasn't gonna have like family support. You know,
okay,
I thought about this like when I was like 15. Like I was so like scared and petrified because, you know, I grew up in a Catholic household. So I think that like don't be scared to like, you know, to start your own communities and to look for your tribe. And it's gonna take a while, but just be patient. You know, there are people like you, and you know, and there are more parts of you to discover than you think, for sure.
So when you say more parts for you to discover, can you tell me more about that? Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, like so I mean, I'll just talk about like myself, for example. Like you know how I talked about like, you know, when I was growing up I was more effeminate, more feminine and stuff. And so I remember like making like newer friends, and like and for some reason like some of the friends that I had, they were like straight friends. And I remember I had like these two friends at the time, I forgot their names, but there was a guy and a girl, both like one of them was like a gay guy, and the other person was like a cis straight woman. She was Asian.
Okay.
And I remember this straight Asian woman was like, yeah, she's like, you're not like every other like bitchy gay guy. You're kind of like chill, like a dude, like a guy. And I was just like, okay. And then I remember like,
not my sister.
No, and I remember hearing that, and I was like, okay, like, is it a bad thing to kind of be more like, you know, like expressing yourself as like a feminine person? Is it like really that bad to be like bold and like standing your own like presence and skin? Like, is that really like a bad thing? You know what I mean? And then I just remember like I remember even like the guys that I dated, they were so like rigid, like the guys I dated before. And it's funny because the guys I dated before, I feel like they knew they were queer.
Okay.
And there were certain parts of them that they were like withholding from themselves, essentially. Like they weren't expressing certain things, and they had, I could see the internal struggle where like they wanted to express something, but they didn't have the words for it, or they didn't have the expression to, you know? And so, and I feel like that's because like, they stay in the same communities that don't represent who they are in like the inside.
Oh, okay. So they're never like really, they're not like exploring themselves enough.
Yeah,
right?
they're
like,
not exploring themselves enough.
Like, do you feel like, and like the people that you've dated in the past, were they mostly like Latino, would you say?
They were mostly like, yeah, they were all Latino, if anything.
Okay.
All Latino. One of my exes, definitely, he was okay with being effeminate, for sure.
Yeah.
There wasn't really, I mean, he was just a narcissist, but that was one of my exes. But like my last ex, like my most recent last ex, he was definitely like the kind of person that would be like, oh, you know, I want a man. I don't want, you know,
like a girl.
I don't want like a girl.
Like a girl, like a gay man. You didn't want a gay guy.
Yeah. And then, you know, it doesn't work like that. No. You know what I mean? And I think that people need to understand that like queer people, LGBTQIA folks, we all come in like different flavors, different shapes, sizes, variations. We come from different walks of life.
Yeah.
And
true.
And I think that for me, like, because I've had people tell me like, oh my gosh, like, you know so much. It's like you've lived so many different lives. And I'm just like, well, yeah, that's the queer experience. You actually do get to live so many different lives through the different people that you meet and through the different experiences that you're in, you know? So, and I think for me, that's been a good thing to like venture out and meet different walks of life. And you've seen my friend group, like we're all very diverse. Like not all of my friends are not all Latino.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're all from different backgrounds, and of course, you being Punjabi, you know.
The one and only.
And so I've always been very open to self-discovery as time goes on. Even though I'm in my 30s, like, I'm still very open to see, like, what other parts are left to discover. And so I think that my advice to, like, gay Latino queer men is to kind of, like, get out of your box, get out of your current collective, and look for people that you can connect with internally, you know?
I agree. I like that perspective too, because I also feel like in the Indian culture, it can be very similar where Indian people, and this is kind of like, I mean, I talk about this a lot on the pod, where I never felt like I was Indian enough.
Right.
And I've told you, like, off the pod and offline, as they say. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Right. You know, like, if a bitch asks me to get, like, let's talk about this offline, especially at work, I'm like, it's not really offline, bitch. Like, we're still online. You just called me. Why don't you just say, can I call you later?
Right.
Like, stop making these fucking fake words up.
Right.
Basically, this is an FYI to any bitch working in corporate or any bitch working in any basically non-retail type of job or customer service type of job, where, like, an office job. If a bitch says offline, they just mean they're going to call you. And if they say, let's catch up later, or, you know, using the stupid corporate lingo, I hate corporate lingo.
Oh, no.
It's so forced.
Yeah. When I worked in corporate, because one of my jobs, I worked at a corporate office.
Please go off.
Like, it's like, why are we speaking in riddles? And my manager would get so mad at me because I'd be so, like, I wouldn't be unprofessional.
No.
I would just be direct. Be like, hey, we need this.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, why did you say it like that? And I'm like, because you told me we need this. And so I'm not going to speak in riddles. And, you know, like, I'm going to go ahead and be like, hey, so where is this? When can we have it?
Yeah.
What's our ETA?
Yeah.
Like,
I just hate, like, we go in circles to not hurt people's feelings. But then it's like, first of all, you're a big boy, you're a big girl. If you're working a big boy, big girl job, you got to put your big boy, big girl pants on. Right? Mm-hmm. You got to manage your anxiety. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you can't have anxiety. Right. Everybody has it. We all have it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, you can't be... I think that's what actually... No, it's funny. You were talking about how, like, back earlier on the RuPaul Drag Race episodes were not PC. I feel like people are so sensitive now. Mm-hmm. How we say things, what we say to them, derogatory slurs. Obviously, those things are, like, bad, right? Mm-hmm. But people get so sensitive. And it's one thing to be sensitive.
Right.
I also feel like you, as a human being, have to be receptive of someone's intention.
Right.
Like if I said she-male.
Right.
Or, I mean, I wouldn't say that. But, like, you know, if I said something to somebody and they were, like, my really good friend, I feel like they would know that my intent wasn't to be a bitch.
Right. You know? Yeah.
But, like, at work, I get it. Like, you're at work. But also, like, at work, you kind of put your blinders up. Yeah. And you kind of just realize, like, this is work. Right. Bitch is going to come at me with, like, 5,000 questions.
Right.
And I just got to churn them out, or I got to be like, go look online.
Right.
Know? So, I don't know. I just feel like people are so, like, sensitive to these PC shits.
Right. I always tell it's sometimes when it comes to other adults, I'm like, if you misunderstand what I'm saying or what I'm doing, ask me.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to learn.
Follow up.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
You know, like,
God.
People just don't want to learn. Like, you know, if you hear me say or do something and you don't understand it, this is your learning opportunity. This is where you ask me, help me clear up this point of confusion that I'm having, Miss Ma'am, Miss Linda in HR.
Yes. You know, like when he puts it out on the table, it's not 6.5 inches, it's 9 inches, right? Like, you just gotta, like,
Chipotle burrito.
You just gotta, you know, you gotta work with what you have.
Yeah.
And you gotta ask the questions. Sometimes those questions need a mouth to be asking the question.
Yes. You just gotta ask, girl. Ask and you shall receive.
Just ask.
In the rear.
Yeah, well... No, but you know there used to be that... Wasn't there that website, justask.com? Was there a website?
Was it?
Well, it was called Just Ask. Now, don't put it in the browser because it might be something else.
Right.
But it was called Just Ask, and there was like a man. I forget, like, what was it?
Was it like a search engine kind of?
It was, you know how there's like Quora?
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or like how there's Reddit. Obviously, like Reddit's a different thing.
Reddit is wild.
Reddit is wild, yeah. Reddit is like a whole different beast.
Entity.
Alyssa Edwards.
Yeah.
Beast. No, but there used to be this thing. I thought it was called Just Ask or something like, and it was like you would put in random questions, and it would show you like answers that people also asked questions.
Oh yeah.
So like if you were like, how do you fix a computer?
It was like a Yahoo's Answers.
Yeah, like Yahoo. Yeah, right. Like Yahoo's Answers. Like, let's go back to asking questions.
Yeah.
Let's go back to it and like ask the questions to the person. Right? I mean, yes, we have our cell phones, we have our laptops, we have all that shit. We can go online and answer the question.
Right.
But sometimes, hear me out. It's really good to ask somebody who you work with, even asking your friends, your loved ones, your family, your partners, real questions.
Right.
Get their opinion. It also stimulates the brain. I feel like we don't stimulate enough.
Right. We're not having enough conversations because we're so ready to disassociate on our phones and like just forget about the external world.
Yeah.
And even our internal world, like we're so ready to just be like, I want to be out of my brain.
Yeah.
I want to be out of my existence.
Yeah.
You know?
And like our interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
People don't want to like create those. They just want to make these social media parasocial relationships that like they're not going to do anything for you.
They just want a superficial false presence. That's all they want.
No. And we know a lot about those bitches.
Yeah.
We've seen them for the past few years.
Unfortunately.
No, yeah.
They should be paying taxes.
No, they should really be paying taxes. Why is the weather getting all gloomy all of a sudden? It looks like it's going to storm.
I know.
It's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy. Pussy about to be flooded.
No.
We about to get Noah and the Ark up in this bitch.
She about to get fucking Hurricane Katrina up in this girl.
Not Hurricane Katrina.
No, man.
Crazy.
Why does my water taste sweet? Oh, because we had Sprite in it.
Yeah, and then we also had coffee with like,
yeah. I was like, why is it sweet all of a sudden? Sweet like sugar. But yes, I was also going to ask you to elaborate a little bit. So I'm going to wrap up on this little question that I have, and then the next segment, which I'm starting now as a recurring thing, is going to be the hot chai, hot takes.
Okay.
I know we finished our chai, we finished our coffee, so we're going to like rewind and do it a little bit, imagine that we have coffee in our hands. But before we do that, like this is my last question. About like just, culture and identity. So I grew up, obviously I'm Indian, and like in my culture, we don't really have like a machismo thing.
Right.
We have expectations of like men and women, men being the breadwinners, women being the home taker or caretakers of the home, right? Being the mothers, being the raisers of the children, right?
Right.
But we don't really have a thing like machismo. Like I can't think of a term that like in Punjabi or even in Hindi that we have.
Right.
And it always was curious to me, like, why is that something that's like present in the Latino culture? Like, what do you think? Why do you? And especially this is my curiosity. It's kind of a two-part question. Why do you think gay Latino guys are almost messengers of that? Like, why do they carry it along? Not all, but some, right?
You know what? That's an interesting question, and I've thought about this myself before too. And it's interesting because Latino culture, like I'm just gonna talk about like Mexican culture, right?
Sure, yeah.
Mexican culture is like the most feminine, and it's the most gayest, and it's the most queerest. Culture.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes the misogyny, the patriarchy, and the machismo, I feel like a lot of it just has to do with just being colonized, really. Like, and I think the colonization is so rooted in us. That we, because I mean, I feel like if you're a machismo, like you act on violence towards not only yourself but towards people in the community because you want to be like this strong person. But you can't be a strong masculine person all the time, and just because you have these expectations of what a man should be, it doesn't always mean that it's the safest expectation to have. It doesn't mean it creates like safety, you know. And I feel like Latino men, they crave to protect and they crave to create an environment of safety, but they're so hung up on that that they kind of lose their purpose in terms of like what they need to do for their families and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's also a lot more complicated than that though, for sure. And you know, and like even for me, like you know, even though like my family knew that I'm like gay, queer, effeminate and stuff, like I still had the expectation of like protecting my family, providing for my family, and you know, and being strong, and you know, having a brave face during, you know, adversity and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But even that, like I couldn't even. I mean, I was strong and I dealt with adversity like well, but I didn't really respond like a toxic masculine Latino, you know, like I broke down, I cried, and I feel like sometimes we try so hard to be strong, and we try so hard to be like, you know, engaging in like these toxic masculine behaviors that we kind of lose ourselves, and we lose how to be that safe space for our friends and family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so I'm wondering, like, how do you think? I guess let's see what I'm trying to say. Why do you think then there are not all again, like I was saying? Why do you think then like other gay Latino guys often perpetuate that machismo in them? Like, wouldn't you feel? This is my like first initial thought, right? Like, wouldn't you feel that in a way, like being machismo is almost like antithetical to being gay? Not saying that being gay is that you have to be feminine, but rejecting the ideas of the norm, right? Which are man has to be machismo in your culture, right? I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's no. I mean, it's a really good like critical thinking question.
See, I told you.
No, because because now my brain's having to explore, and that's a really good question. You put me in a situation where,
I am that researcher.
Let me tell you. Oh shit! I keep hitting my freaking mic.
No, you're good.
I love to think.
Yeah,
I can think for days. Okay. Sometimes I be texting you my thoughts, and you're like, "Bitch, stop thinking. You're thinking too much at this point." You know?
Yes, and you know me, I'm like a realist.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna zone it in, but that's because I'm an Aquarius.
Can you ask me that question in like simpler terms, maybe?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, that question was kind of loaded.
Yeah.
So you've been talking about how the need to. So I asked, earlier about machismo, like why is that present, right? And it often, you were saying, coming from the ideas that you have to be like the strong person that your family can depend on, and but also almost like a vehicle for violence, right? Like the way you described it from your perspective. So I'm curious because I have seen it with the men that I've dated who also, shocker, have been Latino. Whoops. And if you know me, and people hopefully you get to know me by this podcast, I am a little bit of everything.
Right.
I can be masculine, but that's because God gave me a lot of hair, and a big body, and a bigger other thing, and that's what it is, right? But I can also be feminine, and I love being everything in between. So my curiosity was really stemming from this idea of like, so why then, as a gay person or as a queer person, as a man who's Latino, why are they still vehicles for machismo?
I mean, I feel like.
What do you think? Like, what do you think?
I think it's just generational. We keep teaching like Latino men how to be, and it's an outdated way of thinking. It's not even like an efficient way to act or behave or think, right? You know, and I feel like I see the pattern with like abusive households, like my father had like an alcoholic like father, who was like not present, you know, like in and out the house, you know, like having multiple women, you know, and then like my mother grew up in a household where her father was like also an alcoholic, you know, not really present, you know, arguments and fights were had in like at the house and stuff like that, but they couldn't leave them because like that's who they were with and that's who they had to be with to have the family taken care of.
Yeah,
you know,
security.
yeah.
Right.
So I just feel like it's a lot of because we're trying to survive, there is not much room for like self-reflection. There's not much room to think about like, okay, like what can we do to improve the quality of our lives. So I think mostly like it just comes from like a survival standpoint. For sure.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
No, that's it. Yeah, it's very always curious to me that, like, I'm always curious about that sense because we don't really have that like in my culture, in Indian culture.
Right.
So like for me to see that present and people talk about it, and even like the way you see the men, like a lot of Latino guys, like they will dress super masculine. And it's not just only Latino guys, but like, here in Southern California, that is a big proportion of the gay people. Right. So like when I'm saying like you'll see the guys here, like you often do see a lot of Latino guys, which is like kind of what you were talking about early on, right? Is that you grew up seeing a lot of gay Latino people in media, at the bars and other places, right? And for me, it was almost opposite, right? Like I never experienced that going to bars, clubs and stuff, mostly only until now, I would say. We start to see like, when we go to the gay clubs and other places, we see like Indian people, South Asian people, Middle Eastern people, like blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I think that's what's interesting is that putting it together in the sense, because I would say like a lot of what I grew up with is like to treat people with respect, similar to like how you grew up. Like,
right. Yeah.
Treat people with equality. Treat everyone like how you would want to be treated.
Right.
Don't be violent. Don't be angry. Let out your emotions. Right.
Right.
So for me, like seeing that in my culture, we don't really have something where that has to be held.
Right.
And it's, I think, in a way, because Indian culture is also very queer.
Yeah.
It's very colorful. It's very, flowery and pretty and sexual and dainty. I mean, like, shoot, we have made the Kama Sutra.
It's romantic as fuck.
It's romantic, right? Like, it is artsy. It's all these things. Like, people, they forget that, like, these cultures of ours are so artistic, are so unique, are so embedded in making things that they think that, and the people that I'm saying is the white people, think that it's all brand new when it comes to America. Like chai lattes, like turmeric lattes, right? Like the brassware, the silver, all these little things. Like those are things that our cultures have had for thousands of years and generations. And that's kind of what I was trying to figure out is like, why would it resonate in our queer community when everything about being queer, right? Like is about rejecting the norm, right?
Right.
Like I would think that after some time you would want to reject the feelings of being machismo and being masculine,
Right. I mean, also like it may be just a comfortable thing for them.
That's true.
It may just be like a comfortable thing for them. It's familiar. I would talk to like my old therapist and she would tell me like, oh, like if you're gonna be around like new people, try to meet people that don't come from like the same like family structure. Try meeting people from like different cultures, different races, different ethnicities, kind of branch out, and then try connecting with people that don't have the same cultural structure. And so that was like probably the best thing she's ever told me, and I was like, okay, for sure. Like I'm gonna go explore that. Because sometimes like if you meet people that haven't explored like other cultures and and they haven't taken that time to self-reflect, then you just meet people that are kind of like more stuck
one note almost, right?
And so I think that that's how I was mentioning it, like how the advice I was mentioning earlier, that's why I was saying like you need to branch out, you need to break off that collective, because people need to really expand their thinking and their worldwide view on people and cultures and things. There's more to the world than just settling with your machismo. Like people need to break off that, because it's not healthy, and you can't just stay stuck like that.
Be a little gay.
Be a little gay.
Be a little femme.
Mm-hmm.
Paint your nails.
Right. Vogue. Yeah.
Get your booty hole waxed.
Yeah. Duck walk.
Mm-hmm. Douche.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Take PrEP.
Right. Don't bleach your asshole because a white man said so.
Yes. Don't. Leave it brown and pink. You know? Leave it a little hairy.
That part.
Yeah. You know, yeah. We're going to take a break. I think we're going to take a little break. I'm basically going to wrap up with this last segment and then do a little outro. It's going to be hauled. It's going to be hauled. It's going to be hauled. It's going to be called Hot Chai, Hot Takes. For those who have watched the pod know that that's kind of my time where we talk shit. I do my honest opinions about things. But because we have a guest, Miss Tonisha Williams. Tonisha Williams Dupree Davenport III. We are going to get her. We're going to get her. She, he, they, z, way, thou. Them, their opinion on all these takes. Okay. So, this is the segment where people just kind of... people. It's been me the whole time. Where I usually go off. So, go off on something. What do you want to go off? But if you're going to go off, you got to look in the camera. You gotta
okay. You got to make eye contact.
You got to make eye contact. You got to eye fuck somebody.
What happened?
Eye fuck them.
Wait, what do you mean?
You know, like when your eye, like you just...
yes.
Like Alyssa Edwards, you know,
make love to the camera.
Make love to the camera.
Yes. Okay. If I'm, you know what? I'm gonna go off.
Go off.
If you're a DL man and you want to freaking dip your little 3-inch wiener in someone's butthole, please get tested. Please get tested. Period. Because y'all be spreading your baby batter everywhere and not getting tested because you don't want that on paper you fuck other men. Like, right. It's called HIPAA for a reason, girl. No one's gonna know but you. Mm-hmm. And the nurse don't give a fuck. Okay? Mm-mm. Literally get your ass tested. Go on PrEP. And maybe don't be a fucking cheating asshole.
If you're a cheating asshole, person number 5 in the comments, write cheating asshole.
But that's my hot take. You know, I mean, DL men need to get tested. I don't give a fuck.
They really do. They really do.
Yeah.
So, it's funny because last episode I talked about how can you be DL, bi, and on doxypep, and everyone's been loving that little bit. And I was honestly, it was really funny. I tried so hard not to laugh when I did it. But it's true. Like I know I got a lot of flack. I will admit I got a lot of flack because the clown cars here, girl.
Right.
They're picking up the corn. The trades here.
Yeah. Extra mayo, please.
Extra mayo. Extra.
Or sometimes it's sour cream, yeah.
Sometimes it's the sour crema. So, what I was saying, I got a lot of flack last week because these girls were like, what we're not going to do is shade DL men for being on their STI, like, you know, sexual health, right?
Right.
And like, that wasn't the point. I would never shade anyone on their sexual health. Do what you got to do. Like Toni said, get tested, get your swabs all over the places that you play. But the real thing is you can't say you're DL and you're on PrEP. You've already made a distinction. Because, you know, like when you go to Planned Parenthood or you go anywhere, they're going to ask you, so do you have sex with who?
Right.
And to be on PrEP, I mean, one of the criterion is have sex with men.
Right.
Right? So you're already admitting that you're not DL.
Right.
So be on PrEP, be on Doxy if you can, and wrap it up if you can.
Right.
Wrap it up. Planned Parenthood gives free condoms. Mm-hmm. LGBTQ Center gives free condoms. CVS does not. But if you want them for free, you just got to put them in your bag. And, you know, keep them around. You never know.
Right.
What's another hot take that you have?
Another hot take.
What really pisses you off? What really gets you going? You know?
Oh.
What really, like, yes, drink your water.
Girl, lubricate. I have no idea how political I want to get.
Lubricate, mama.
Can we have the government stop like there's no money? Because there's money. We're just funneling it in the wrong places. Mm-hmm. Okay? Like, I'm going to say this. I'm not suicidal, okay? But we need to stop funding Israel. We need to fund free education, free healthcare, and affordable housing here. Period.
That's true. That is really, and I wouldn't even say that's a hot take. That is a truth. We only speak the truth in this friendship of ours. We've always spoken the truth. Oh,
that's another hot take. The truth is not taboo. It is the truth for a reason. The truth is not taboo. And we gotta stop. Why do you want to have a relationship and friendships and a reality based off lies? The truth is a good thing, and we need to keep exposing the truth.
Yes, we do. We need to go back and read some books. We need to go back to school if we can. We need to learn. Like you've been saying, it's funny. Like, so this is why we're best friends.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to learn. What? Hello. Learn, bitch. Read a book.
Make learning great again.
Yes, make learn.
Make critical.
Mala. Yes. Mala Santo.
Yes. No. Make critical thinking great again. You know what? This is a hot take.
Make America learn again.
Yes. Yes.
Mala.
Like, let's fund our public education system like we fund Israel's. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not. You know what? I'm not too sure how much of our taxes go to. But the thing is, if we're providing money, okay.
Like, there's money for here.
Yeah, there's money for here. Yeah.
There's money here. There's money here.
But yeah, no, we need to, when I was in school, and I was, I've been taught many subjects in school.
Yes.
And when I was in college, I had one professor tell me, I am teaching you guys a subject and my expertise on this.
Yeah.
You guys are allowed to question my teachings and my authority.
Right.
Because that's what school is about. It's about questioning the authority. It's about questioning what you're taught. It's about making a connection. It's about making a connection with what you're taught and making your own distinction about it.
But not but. And I would add on, this is just my perspective too. I would add on, if something is scientifically studied, and I'm not talking about like a one-off study, right, with a sample size of like 20 people.
Right.
If something is studied multiple times and multiple papers and multiple studies have essentially found the same critique or the same result or fact or whatever, you should be confident that that is a fact or that's a strong statistic. That's science and research 101. You're absolutely right. You should challenge, you should question and try to figure out, what else could be causing something.
Right.
What else could be a factor? But what we're not going to do is we're not going to say that these scientists who have spent fucking years studying, have you spent thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars studying and researching and formulating things, we're not going to discredit them. No, we're not going to discredit. You know what? Just because that one gym bro who's found God and says Jesus is God or God is whatever, I don't even know what they fucking put half the time. They're always fucking ugly. That's the one thing I'll remember. Is they're always fucking ugly. And they're always on testosterone. Okay? Like, if you think those gym bros are all natty, they're not, baby. They're not. They are not. So why are you taking advice from somebody who doesn't even know what the fuck they're talking about your health, about your life? Because they've said that Jonathan and Melissa have lost 30 pounds. Well, bitch, you can go on Ozempic and lose 30 pounds. So let's... Critical thinking is a theme of today's episode.
Yeah, no, really.
Critical thinking.
Really.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, like, we have to stop discrediting the science community.
Yeah.
Okay? Science is a part of life. It's a fact. It's not going away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if someone says, this is the reality, we've tested the reality more than one time, believe it.
Yeah. Believe it.
Believe it.
Yeah. Like, I believe in myself.
Yeah.
That's fact.
No, yeah. Period.
Do you believe in yourself?
That's...
Do you? Because I don't think you do. That's why you're up at 3 a.m. looking for a bottom,
Ooh.
looking for a verse, looking to get your shit turned out at the creek trail, girl.
Mm-hmm.
So if you believe in yourself, person number 5 in the comments, if you believe in yourself, say you believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. Person number 6 in the comments, if you believe in yourself, send me some money on Venmo. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Toni too.
Yeah, this podcast don't fund itself, okay?
I don't fund it. You know what's funding it? This bootleg, shoddy ass ring light that's taped because it fell down at a party, and that's all it's being funded by. But before we end, I just, I want to thank everyone watching, everyone listening in, everyone subscribed. Definitely keep subscribing, keep commenting, keep sharing, keep liking, because it gives me insight on like what people like, right?
Yeah.
But I'm so happy that I had you today. Me too. I hope you had fun.
Oh my God, it was a lot of fun. We need to do this again.
Yes, we do.
ASAP.
And before we go, my last question, because this is like how I usually end sort of the podcasts in general. If you had to give one, again, kind of a piece of advice, or if you, for the gay, Latino, Hispanic, queer people listening, which I do have quite a few of those individuals listening. Yeah. I can tell which ones are, I can clock their tea. What would you inspire them with before we go?
Well, first I want to say, if you've made it here, good for you. Okay. If you're listening to this podcast episode right now, good for you, because it means that you are willing to learn and do some self-reflection. Yes. And and you're looking for a broader sense of community in the world. So good for you. I want to just
yes,
tap, clap,
cheers to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the biggest takeaway is for my Latinos and my queers out there is, be brave enough to step out of the comfort zone, step out of that box, and expand your communities. Because we definitely need more community now than ever. And absolutely. So I think that it's really important to understand other people's frames of references so that we can learn, understand, and empathy is a very, 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 very important thing to have. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's what I will say and that.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Well, you heard it here, folks. First, I'm gonna shift around and show off my thighs. Perfect. But you heard it here first. What it means to be gay, Latino, queer, how it means to grow up in a place that maybe told you that you're not supposed to be here, or that you're different than what other people are around you. But also learning that sometimes it's within yourself to challenge those standards, challenge those notions of what community, what the world tells us, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of a lot of the things that you've talked about. And then also, be yourself and be inquisitive, right? Yeah. Want to learn and challenge and educate yourself, and don't stop because a white person tells you to, right? Mm-hmm. So if you've enjoyed this episode of Chisme River, definitely subscribe, like, and share. I'm very happy that we had Miss Tonisha Dupree, Latanya Davenport III. I'm very happy that Toni came on the pod today. If you enjoyed this podcast, share it with your friends and family. And until next time, I realize I don't have my cups, so we're just gonna fucking cheers to this. Cheers, bitch.
I'm snapping.
Yes. Go out there and suck a dick.
And learn.
And start a business.
Get a job.
And get a job.